Welcome back into the comfortable confines of Haven. Actually, right now we're in Purgatory. The stairwell is called Purgatory. And these notes are for the third Psalm session. And we had lots of Psalms, 58 Psalms, I think. Definitely some repeats. I don't know if that's intentional or not. But here we go. My core idea is, in this one, kind of a putting together of all the themes that I saw into kind of one big, massive core idea, and this is it. The Lord, Yahweh, is the trustworthy Father King who blesses his subject family with mighty provision and curses everyone else with strong anger. Yes. So that took a while to put together, and it comes from pretty much all the Psalms we read. And there's huge implications and applications of this thing. It's totally about how do we relate to this Lord of ours? How do we relate to the one who is? And they're all written by Israelites. Uh, so they can say, I am relating to the Lord as a son to a father, or I'm relating to the Lord as a subject to a king. Uh, so really, it's like the Lord is king, and we are his royal family. I'm a prince, you're a prince, you're a princess, uh, you're a duke, if the duke is related to the king. And there are numerous rights and privileges, but also responsibilities that come from this. Um, and there's a constant promise of provision for the king's family, far above anyone else. No one can say that they will be provided with as much confidence as the prince. Um, and he doesn't even have to provide for himself, he just has to stay being the prince. And the way he does that is by having his princeliness manifest through obedience and by acting in a kingly way himself. His actions are not his identity. So when the psalmist says, like, save me for I've been righteous, I think he's not saying, like, look at my merit for all these good things I've done, but rather, look, I am acting in the way, I am fulfilling my role as your prince, as your subject, and as your family, subject family. Um, so therefore, deliver me, reconcile me, save me from my enemies, save me from those who are neither your subjects nor your family, and I will be saved. Because I know you can provide, for you are mighty, and you love me. So I trust in you, and I will wait for you. Ultimately, they say, I will wait. We will wait. Um, yeah, so there's a kind of take a long look at the justice of God, and trust it. Don't look at the immediates, because I've said these kinds of things all the time, and this isn't really a new thought for me, but it's true, and the psalmists, I think, are good at articulating it, in that the wicked seem happy now, but justice is coming. The Lord will redeem himself. His anger shall be severe against those that end up outside of his family, which is everyone who doesn't love him, everyone who rebels or disowns themselves, shall be treated as such. Everyone will be acted upon according to their deeds. And I wonder if that's contradicting the doctrine of total depravity. The idea like, I am a son of God, I'm made a son of God, or the Israelites in particular, let's say, are sons of God. Would the doctrine of total depravity say that they will necessarily um, rebel against that and disown themselves? Or is it possible for them to, although they have some moments of failure, to ultimately say, I want to be your son, I want to be your subject, um, and I'm not rebelling against that long term. I'm just not fulfilling my role to the fullest capacity because I'm weak. Um, versus, no, I hate the Lord, the God's not even real, um, like the fool says. I don't know. I think there's room for that because Israelites are like sons, but not sons as Christians are sons necessarily, but I don't know if total depravity necessarily applies to them. So that's something to think about. But they are sons. They are subjects, um, and they are blessed by the Lord at times, and they see the goodness of God, and they see the justness of God, and they see the provision that God provides. They see His strength, so they fear Him, and they're thankful for Him and for the things He does, and they rejoice in Him and in the things He does. So they fear and are thankful and rejoice, and they command, and they sing that everyone should be this way, if they are His, if they are a prince to be the king. Um, so, kind of the thing that they end up concluding in the last 5 Psalms of the book of Psalms is the Lord does care to those who are dear to Him, and therefore praise Him, praise Him, praise Him all day long with every breath. And I think that is, yeah, the right response um, to the one beyond all who makes us as close as possible, both subject and family. It's hard to believe. Uh, that's the general thing. It's hard to get a lot of Psalms kind of all together in one core idea. That's just a thing I saw linking them together. There weren't as many depressed Psalms, so it's a little bit easier there. Because it's kind of a jubilant idea of a a king father. Yeah, and synthesis, there's a lot about God being near and also being far, and should we be seeking God? How do we seek God? That goes with other things. It's hard to draw out very particular stuff. Everything depends upon God. I think I might say something real quick that Pascal talks about all of our axioms, our first principles are dependent upon the Spirit. And the Psalmist talks about the whole world being dependent upon God. There's definitely language of dependency, and a lot of language of trust, or I don't know if language, but idea of trusting God no matter what. And I feel like that's becoming a lot this semester, trusting God, depending upon God. Yeah, Descartes, yeah, but Pascal especially sees dependence upon God as the road to knowledge. And the knowledge of one's wretchedness leads to dependency on God, and that's right. I think the psalmist does see, like, he looks at himself and sees no way to provide for himself, and so he looks to God and says, I must depend upon thee. And I think that is good. The Bible is always kind of like, if I say this person disagrees with the Bible, then it's kind of more of a condemnation than usual. But there you go. The Psalms have always been kind of weird for me. I'm not sure how I should accept them. Like, I know that these psalmists said these things, but were they, definitely true things to say? I don't know. And this whole hyperbole and poeticism and stuff. Eh.